YouTube, Heir of Carthage here. Of course, coming back with more Shogun Total War. For those of you who like my other Total War videos, I've kind of decided that for the time being, my other Total War videos will come on the weekend, and during the week I'm going to try and bring you as much Shogun 2 as possible since it's new. Once the game gets to be a little more standard, of course, I will change that up. So for those of you who like Rome, Empire, Napoleon, don't worry, they'll still be around. Like I said, they'll be on the weekends rather than during the week at this point. So, I'm going to show you 3 battles tonight. It would be my 7th, 8th, and 9th win. I've actually played 10 battles. Like I said, I've only lost 1 still, so I was on a pretty good streak tonight. I think I went on a 4-win streak. So, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let me get you the number 7 here. You can see my opponent there. I like to show this loading screen so that you can see my opponent, maybe get a little bit of an idea about the map, since no one's familiar with the maps yet. This is the lowlands map. I like this map pretty well. It's got a little bit of river crossing in the center. The right side is open. So, yeah, it's a little bit of curious terrain, I think. Alright, I'm using my pretty standard battle setup. Now, some of you may be saying, "Yeah, this is getting old, man. You use this thing in every battle." Well, it's because it's so dang useful. But don't worry. Some of my other videos tonight, I use... none of my battles tonight are quite the same. So even though I may use similar units in some of these battles, I promise you that there's some differences there. So I've got 2 Yari Cavalry, both of which are veteran units. This one doesn't have a name, but this one is my Sacred Band Yari. And you can, someone asked me, "Eric, can you customize your veteran units?" And indeed you can. I can't really tell if it's the color that I put them as, because I think there's actually some bugs with the customizable characters, if I've heard right, and that's part of the reason why my general is just in his default skin here, even though I've changed him. So I'm pretty sure there's some bugs that CA is going to have to work out. And it seems like every Total War game has some bugs initially, which really, some people get really angry at that. I don't really care, just so long as they, they come in and fix it. And I know that they've already patched it, and that there's another patch in the works, so I'm sure that they'll take care of it. And even with the bugs, to be honest, the game's still great. Alright, let me show you what my opponent has. Oh, yeah, I have 2 Bow Ashigaru, 2 Katana Samurai, 1 Lone Sword, 2 Yari Cav in my general. My opponent has up here, he's trying to capture this, this shrine, and it increases the morale of all units. And up here, he's got a Yari Ashigaru, and, well, let's see, looks like, yeah, he's got a Yari Ashigaru unit and a Bow Samurai unit. The Bow Samurai are just, of course, much better archers. They can actually semi-defend themselves in melee. Not very well, though. And he's got a Katana Samurai, his avatar, and up front here he's got 2 Yari Samurai and another Bow Samurai. And capturing this sword dojo, he has a unit of Yari Samurai, which is spear-wielding samurai. So there they are. Pretty cool units. Let's go take a look at his general real quick. Yeah, his is wearing the default skin as well, so apparently I'm not the only one suffering from that issue. So anyway, here's a nice little kind of above view from the map. My opponent deployed defensively, and he's made a critical mistake here. And his mistake is that none of his wings can overwhelm mine, and so I'm going to overwhelm his flank. And then I'm going to check out my guys burning there. They're getting hit by Bow Samurai, which can fire flaming arrows. The Ashigaru bow cannot do that. I've taken 2 units, or I've taken a unit of Katana Samurai and Lone Sword Ashigaru, which can easily overpower his units in melee, and I'm charging. And to make the situation worse, I've got both of my veteran Yari Cav units coming across his flank. So my opponent has no way to reinforce these troops in time, and they are going to die. You can see he had a shield, or a pike wall set up, and he's hoping to take out my cavalry, but as my opponents are learning, my cavalry is much more maneuverable than their pike wall. And just check out this absolute ownage. I love Yari Cav. It's my favorite unit on the game so far. I almost refuse to go to battle without Yari Cav. I'd way rather have them than Katana Cav because their speed is outstanding, and they have a good charge. So here, look at that. He just lost 2 units piecemeal, and he's making another mistake, which is sending in a this unit here. This is Katana Samurai, and my opponent's thinking, well, I can come fight his sword units with my sword unit. But again, people in this game seem to completely underestimate cavalry. On other games, charging heavy infantry with cavalry wasn't useful, but if you think about it, a katana is only so useful against a horse. Maybe if you were in like point blank melee, it'd be alright, but in a charge, not a chance. So check this out. Booyah! Send some samurai flying down the hill. Check this guy out, rolling over. Oh man, this guy caught some air. Check him out. That has got to be a record, and he's going to go rolling down the hill. See, that's why you got to protect your sword infantry from a quick cavalry charge. I can't stress enough how deadly Yari cavalry charges are in this game against units who are not in position to defend against that charge. It doesn't matter if you are spear or sword infantry. If you are not in position to take that charge, you are going to get clobbered. Alright, so here's my opponent. He's getting sick of me tearing up his flank, so he's going to make a rush on my center. Hopefully, he wants to get at me before I can reinforce. So he's going to charge his Yari Ashigaru units across the river. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, because my one Katana Samurai unit here can absolutely pwn those two Yari Ashigaru, and I have two boned units, but I'm actually folding back my flank, much like I showed you in my Empire Total War video. And if you see, I'm folding back my flank, my opponent's going to charge forward, and then I'm going to collapse onto the rear of his army. So I'm kind of using an envelopment strategy on my opponent here. So regardless of whether you're playing a game that involves missile fighting, kind of like Napoleon Total War, or whether you're fighting in a game that involves melee, you can use a lot of the same tactics, and you can use them pretty effectively. Now, someone asked yesterday, they said, hey Air, your general unit, it looked like they had longbows, and they can't use those, right? No, absolutely they can use them. That's one of the character traits that you can unlock, is your general unit can have bows, and then you can increase their accuracy and their attack and everything also. So there's my general unit, who is now bow-armed, and he's firing at the enemy general, and of course his general is firing at me. So the feeling's mutual, apparently. Here comes his Yari Ashigaru. You can see I run my archers away, and then just come in with my Katana Samurai, who start immediately pwning these spear infantry. Check this guy out, he's like, oh! That was awesome. Oh man. Anyway, my opponent is trying to use his spear troops to stop my cavalry from running amok, but it's absolutely impossible because I can just simply run around his spear units. I mean, don't get me wrong, Yari Ashigaru has uses. It's best used to defend kind of like choke points. Oh, you heard right there the Samurai Barca got injured. He was in the heat of battle. I don't know if your avatar can die. I kind of think they just get injured for people who are saying that, which, you know, basically means that they're out of the fight and your men are going to, you know, suffer a morale loss. But in any case, my opponent was dead. And I did have the results screen, so I'm going to be splicing in the results screen, the battle results, because I told you I'd get those. So I'll be splicing in the results screen after each battle. There won't be any commentary on it, though, but you'll get to see it. So let's go on to the next battle replay, which is number 8. There's my opponent. You can see his name there. This battle was interesting, and I really like this map as well. It's called Yamasaki Choke Point, and everybody knows there likes choke points. Doesn't matter what game it's on, Halo, Rome Total War, any Total War, I like choke points. Of course, unless I'm the one being forced to go through it, then I don't so much like it. But it makes it tactical nonetheless, and it's pretty fun. Alright, so my army is the same for this battle. Now, some of you, again, don't get too upset with me. I'm using ambush tactics. Someone's always asking me, can you show us how to use ambush tactics? Here, my opponent ought to know I have hidden units, but he's not going to know exactly where or what. I have my Yari Cav hidden in the woods, and to start with, I just march around my infantry. Let's go take a look at my opponent's army. He has 3 units of this crap light cavalry. Light cavalry is really only good for use against archers and chasing fleeing units. They suck versus any other cav. He's got a bunch of Yari Ashigaru. Here's 2 of them right here. And let's see, here's another light cavalry unit. His avatar is right there. So there's his avatar. His is getting to wear cool armor. How come mine doesn't? What a bunch of crap. Anyway, he's got 3 Yari Ashigaru there. And then check it out, he's got these fire projecting mangonels, which are basically, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Yeah, mangonels, I think's how it's said. Anyway, you can look here, it drops a little bomb. They load the bomb up in it, and then they're going to turn it loose. I'll let you see what they do. There, he's loading the bomb in the basket. It's kind of cool. Now let's go on the other end and watch the effect. So it's a siege unit, and of course there's no rules really set in these type of battles. So there it goes. You can see some of my guys did get killed by it. There they are. But it's really, its bark is worse than its bite because it can't reload and it's not very accurate. Its first volley, you can see, landed up here and didn't even damage me. Now, what I'm doing in this battle as far as a strategy, my infantry can pwn his own, but I'm letting my opponent think that he has a cavalry advantage, and I've placed my general up here to make him look vulnerable, but check this out. He's not as vulnerable as he might seem. Plus he has bows and he can start to fire. So now that my opponent has taken the bait, here comes my Yari cavalry from both positions, and I turn my my archers to start firing on his cav. So check out this nice trap that I sprung at my opponent, and he totally fell for it. So sometimes making your opponent feel confident is the best way to lure them into a trap. And my first unit of Yari cav is going to take a beating, but then my general and my other Yari cav is going to come in for the pincer movements here. So check that out. Pinned in on both sides. So there goes his light cav. They're going to crumble under this kind of fight, and his avatar is going to die. In the center, all I have to do now is simply charge his spear units. My opponent probably thought he was going to get to do hammer and anvil after he killed my general, but he got caught in my trap, and then now my sword units are going to pwn his spear units. I think my opponent, yeah, he does have one katana samurai. They're right there, but he only has one. So, like I said, his Yari Ashigaru are going to get pwned. So check out the battle lines here. Pretty cool. Check out these Yari Ashigaru. These guys are getting destroyed by my katana samurai. Alright, so that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. My opponent's army start to rout. His mangonels routed as well. Hope you enjoyed that. Of course, like I said, the battle results will be spliced into this afterwards. I just simply record them with fraps right after the battle is complete. So hope you enjoyed that one. That was a little different. It showed the first time that you've seen a siege unit, and it also showed my first attempt at ambush strategy on Shogun 2. Alright, let's get back to the third battle replay, which is battle number 9, and this one is different for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is my first time to play on the Alpine Ridge, which is a cool map. Kind of reminds me of the Syrian Ridge. Of course, it's not in a desert, and it's slightly different, but it has still the prominent ridge feature in the center of the map, which makes this a tactical map. You want to capture that ridge and or use it for cover against your enemy. If your enemy is using matchlock units, the ridge will make excellent cover because your bows could fire over the ridge, while his matchlock units would be forced to move up and over. So, but for this particular game, the funds were on medium instead of small. Small is 5,000 koku, medium is 10,000, large is 15,000. So in any case, I have 4 units of matchlock Ashigaru. I unlocked these guys on the Avatar Conquest map. So these are just basically conscript firelock. They have extremely poor morale, but whenever they fire their arquebuses, their guns there, it has a devastating morale effect on enemies. So here I am rushing this ridge right here in the center like I said I would. I have 6 katana samurai. I like this battle because it has a battle on a little bit larger scale that you haven't gotten to see yet. And I have 4 units of Yari Cav, including 2 of my veteran units. So here's one of my veteran units, and then that one's just a regular one. Then on the other side is my other veteran unit. This is once again my Sacred Band. And yes, they are colored. I set them to this blue color. So indeed you can see the customized color on them. So check it out, their mon and everything has a different color to it. Very cool that you can customize the units. I think it's really sweet. Still, my general is in the wrong skin, so hopefully they patch that. But it's cool to know that your veteran units at least can be set up. Now, my opponent really should have rushed right to here on this ridge. He could have gotten there first, and he's using archers, and he could have ruined my my Ashigaru, or my matchlock Ashigaru. Check it out. He has bow samurai here. Another bow samurai. He's got 4 bow samurai, so he could have wasted my matchlock Ashigaru, except he's playing defensively. Playing defensively is okay, in my opinion. I think it's okay to defend sometimes. Like, if you look at me, I'm now defending this ridge, but I aggressively took the ridge in order to defend a good position, rather than my opponent just defending right where he started, which is very much not recommended, at least not by me. Let's take a look at his army. He's got Nodashi Samurai here. I'm not really sure how to say that. Anyway, they carry those huge two-handed swords. These guys are bad news in a melee fight with other swords and spears. He's got two Yari Ashigaru guarding his left flank. Let's take a look at the rest of his melee infantry. He's got some lone sword Ashigaru, which is sword peasants, more lone sword, lone sword, and he's got another Nodashi Samurai and another lone sword Ashigaru that's actually a veteran unit. So check out these Nodashi Samurai. These guys are pretty sweet. And then he's got his avatar.
Hidden units, my lord.
And I think on his far flank he might have some more Yari Ashigaru. I'm not sure. His cavalry consists of two light superior. Oh, he has some veteran light cavalry is what they are. He's got names for him here. You can see his names. But his light cavalry will get shredded, and I've got more cav. Again, my opponents are underestimating the power of cavalry. So check this out. I move my, here's my strategy. I split off one Katana Samurai on each flank because my center can easily hold off his lone swords. I move forward my matchlock Ashigaru. They're going to absorb the bow samurai fire and then open with a volley and basically kind of just injure some of his troops. They're not going to cause a whole lot of damage. And then basically they already start routing because their morale is so poor, but their job is complete, which is to draw the enemy forward. And check out these bow samurai, man. They just roasted this unit of Katana Samurai. But in any case, you'll notice that now I can use my hill advantage. So now I just get to simply charge downhill into my opponent's infantry, and I'm going to absolutely destroy his infantry in the center. And then on the flanks, I'm rushing my cavalry and my flanking units into action. So here I'm just going to block his Yari Ashigaru with my my Katana Samurai, and I'm going to start hitting his back lines. So you'll see that my infantry easily tore up his first wave of infantry, which was all lone sword, and but he's got some Nodashi Samurai here now, and these guys are going to be some serious business. Check them out fighting there. Alright, let me show you what I'm doing with my tactics. So now my tactics is to envelop my enemy, and I'm doing this right now. Some of my units are a little bit wavering because they're around these Nodashi Samurai, so I'm going to go assist them as soon as I can. Here I have crushed my opponent's cavalry, and now I'm just going to leave these lone sword Ashigaru there. And I'm going to charge his bow samurai who are hidden in the forest. My infantry line is holding out pretty darn well, and I'm actually winning on the right side of the infantry line. I'm using some of my matchlock Ashigaru here to whittle down these Nodashi Samurai, which are superior. But you can see that they're not superior to musket balls. So yeah, check it out. My opponent's infantry line is for the most part collapsing in the center. But, you know, my infantry line is having some trouble too, but not for long. Check out this classic hammer and anvil. So this is why your opponent shouldn't underestimate the use of cavalry in a battle. And it seems like mine always do, and that's all you have. That's all it takes, folks. A quick rear cavalry charge, and generally your enemy is going to be completely demoralized. So what was a close infantry fight easily tipped into my favor. My opponent had no cavalry with which to defend his bows. He had his spear units just can't keep up. I mean, Yari Ashigaru are good, but like I said, you gotta have a plan for how you're gonna make use of them, because otherwise I can just run around them with my light Yari Cav. So, man, Yari Cav, you gotta love those guys. Hope you enjoyed that battle. It was a little bit manic. These battles happen pretty fast. I don't get to catch all the action, but I think you got the general idea there, which was to engage my opponent at the center, where I already probably had a little bit of an advantage, and then I basically destroyed his flanks and collapsed onto the rear of his army. Hope you enjoyed these battles, and like I said, I'll splice in the results screen.
Despite the cold, all of the judges were glad to see you back in form. In fact,